Hi folks, Tim Dwight here. When I played football at Iowa, my mission was to score touchdowns. Now my mission is helping our country become less dependent on imported energy. Please join me by becoming a member of the Iowa Renewable Energy Association, a leader in alternative energy education for 20 years.
Governor Culver will be speaking on the future of renewables in Iowa. I think he has some valuable insight. He's been there, he's worked through it, and I think provided excellent leadership. And please welcome him on stage.
It's great to be here. I thank Steve and Elizabeth, the board members, everyone from I-Renew for putting on the conference and for allowing me to say a few words. I think in a nutshell, there's not a more important issue really in the world right now than our energy future. And that's why I'm going to continue to be an advocate in my role now as a private citizen to help renewable energy companies be successful across Iowa, the Midwest, and perhaps around the world. This issue, as all of you know, is connected to our national security, it's connected to our economic security, it's connected to our success or failure in the future. And that's why it's such an exciting field to be in right now. That's why I've always been very passionate about renewable energy. I think it's a lot like the information technology sector 40 years ago. And I think the opportunities are endless in terms of what's possible. You just heard from Tim Dwight, who gave you a really good idea of certainly what's possible in solar energy. And it's our challenge to reach that potential, to maximize these unlimited opportunities. And as Iowans, that's what we've always done. We've always been a people that have explored the limits of discovery. Our farmers are the best and most productive in the world. We have research institutions like University of Iowa, Iowa State, University of Northern Iowa. Our private colleges have always believed in pushing the limits of discovery. We've had great Iowans like Norman Borlaug and Henry Wallace who have always taught us the importance of exploration. George Washington Carver went to school at Simpson College and later taught at Iowa State before he went to Tuskegee Institute, where he revolutionized the world in terms of value-added agriculture, in his case with peanuts. The Wallace family of Iowa revolutionized hybrid corn, and on and on. Borlaug helped feed 1 billion people with his focus on hybrid and wheat production. Now it's our turn to continue to follow in those footsteps and in that tradition of really exploration and doing that research and determining what's our generation's opportunity. I feel really good about the fact that Iowa has led in the renewable energy world. Today, this afternoon, in fact, Iowa per capita is generating more power from renewable sources than any place in the world. Number one in the world. We are now generating nearly 20% of our power in Iowa from renewable sources. We've built 40 wind farms in the last 4 years. We now have 8 wind energy manufacturing companies in Iowa, one right here in West Branch, making those towers and those turbines and those blades. We have more than 200 companies, small businesses in 26 of our 99 counties in the supply chain. We've created thousands of new green-collar jobs in our state in the last several years at a time when most states are trying to hold on to jobs. We're creating new, exciting opportunities for young people, for those graduates here at Iowa University, to keep them in West Branch, to allow them to help us solve our energy challenges in the future, right here at home. So we've come a long way. 40 years ago, Iowa was the second worst state in the nation in terms of generating power. We weren't doing anything in terms of renewable energy. It wasn't until the early 80s that we even set a goal for ourselves. So in 40 years, we've come a long way, going from the second worst to the second best in terms of generation. Only Texas is generating more of its power today, this afternoon, from renewable sources. But we've passed everyone else. And we've really done it because we had a game plan in the state of Iowa. We've had very progressive policymakers. We've had industry and the private sector that's been willing to partner with us. We've brought the stakeholders together, and we've been able to have a lot of success. And I think this model in Iowa can be replicated all over the country, and it needs to be, desperately needs to be. So the three things quickly I want to talk about in order to ensure that we reach our full potential with respect to renewable energy in the future are the following. One, awareness. A lot of people have no idea that they can make it work to put a solar panel or a wind turbine up at their home or their acreage or their business or their farm. Things have changed quickly. Right now I'm working with Virid Technologies out of Austin, Texas, and they make small wind turbines, 8, 25, 50, and 100 kilowatt. Those have become very affordable, especially with the state and federal and sometimes local incentives that are in place. But a lot of people have no idea that they could purchase one of those turbines and the payback could be 4, 5, 6 years. Because 2 or 3 years ago, the payback was 10, 12, or 15 years. It's our job, first and foremost, I think, to make people, consumers, business owners, homeowners, aware of what we have right now. And we've done the research. We've come a long way in terms of innovation and technology. And so suddenly there are some great products on the market right now that are affordable, but a lot of people don't know that that's the case. So we need to continue to focus on basic outreach and education and awareness. And I really commend I-Renew for doing that. You've provided enormous leadership in that area. A lot of people are going to be watching these presentations on their local cable channel because you're putting on this conference, for example. But we have a long way to go. That's going to take a lot of hard work, and we've really just scratched the surface. Number 2, we need alignment between the products, the renewable energy products that are available, and policies. So we've done really well, for example, with respect to alignment when it comes to building manufacturing facilities for wind energy companies. So we've worked with the Department of Economic Development. I've gone to Spain to talk to Acciona officials. They decided to come back here, in part because we had some really attractive job creation training programs through the Department of Economic Development. We had that alignment we needed to be successful to recruit those companies to come here to create those jobs here. We also had some really good alignment when it came to building those wind farms. It made sense financially for Alliant and Mid-Am to go ahead and make those capital investments. And it made sense for those landowners to say, yeah, I want one of those turbines in my backyard, absolutely. I want to be a part of that wind farm. We've done pretty well in terms of industrial scale wind incentives with the extension of the wind energy tax credit, although it's not as long as we need it. We've been getting that. We've been fighting for it at the national level, and there's a lot of other examples. But we need that same alignment with all of our renewable energy products. Our solar industry, we need to support them. It's been kind of hit or miss, and some states are further along than others, but we need this type of alignment across not only the state of Iowa and the Midwest, but across the country. And we can get there. We've shown what we can do in terms of the large-scale wind projects and manufacturing facilities. But we need to expand the focus to include other and all renewable energy opportunities for people, whether it's a geothermal unit, a biomass application of some kind. And right now, it's just not there. It's not where it needs to be. For example, with small wind, it shouldn't matter what part of the state you live in terms of putting that small wind turbine up and getting a financial advantage in one part of the state and not having that same advantage in another based on your utility. We need uniform policies and a level playing field for all of our consumers. Otherwise, there will continue to be barriers just put in the way. You'll have a small farming operation that's ready to go to make that investment, but because they live in a certain utility territory, then they can't make it work financially. We've got to change that. I've talked to folks that have tried biomass applications. They've proven that they can displace 5, 10, 15, 20% of coal with locally grown biomass. It's working. These boilers will burn it. We can show you test after test. But guess what? Right now, because the alignment's not there, it's more expensive to burn biomass in most cases, certainly on a large scale, than to burn coal that we bring in barge in on the Mississippi and truck all over our state. So why can't we change that and say, no, we're going to give you incentives. We're going to encourage you here at the University of Iowa to displace as much coal as you can. And we're going to reward you for that. Instead of saying, no, you can't do it because it costs too much. And you can't blame the public or private entity for saying, no, we can't move to biomass if it's more expensive, especially during these challenging budget times for our universities or for our schools. So it is so critical to have those opportunities align with our tax policy, our permitting policy, our siting and zoning efforts. It shouldn't matter where you live if you want to build a wind farm or install solar panels, in terms of siting or permitting. We have to streamline that whole process. So awareness, alignment, and then finally, and I'm happy to take some questions, we need application. We need to get more turbines up in the air, small turbines, huge opportunity, tremendous opportunity in terms of class 2 and 3 and 4 wind. We need to get more solar panels up. We need to get more geothermal units installed, more solar water heaters, you name it. We've got to get more application. We've talked about it. We know what's possible, but we have to be determined to actually get results collectively. And that's hard, but we can